I'm Judy Griffin with Aroma Health Texas, and today we're going to work on personal authority dealing with decisions, and it's kind of a continuous learning process as we become more and more our own person. Aromas create powerful emotional responses because scent will become your memories. So think of that when you're putting together a blend. We're going to make 2 blends today because I couldn't decide which blend I wanted to do. So I'm going to have a blend for when you need stimulation to make a decision, and then a blend when you need to chill out to be able to make a good decision. Now, in the decision process with yourself, you have to learn to trust and respect yourself and others and be an active listener, and to take responsibilities is a big thing, and it can be why some people have trouble making decisions. But if you have the moment, step back, rest the mind, and then go ahead with evaluating the situation so you can make a decision. You know, there's an old saying to wait 3 days before you make an important decision, like buying a house or buying a car or something really, and you know, where you can't really. It's different than deciding whether you're going to take a walk or go for a swim. If there's an opportunity, you can list the pros and cons of the situation or your situation and understand your own strengths and weaknesses. But when we make decisions, and we make them all day long, what we're going to eat for breakfast and what road we're going to take to work, you have to understand that it makes a difference, not just for yourself, but everyone and everything. It's kind of dramatic, but it really does. So we don't want to make decisions if we're really irritable or if we're very overwhelmed and fatigued. So we're going to make blends to help us get in the right mode and have it nearby, so when we need it, we'll have it. Which one do you want to do first? And I couldn't decide if I wanted 1 ounce or 1/2 ounce, so we're going to do 1 of each. See, it's easy decisions. So the 1 ounce one is if you're irritable. Wait a minute, that's not the 1 ounce one. The 1 ounce one is going to be if you have brain fatigue. It may make you irritable, but it's more for the overwhelm, the fatigue, procrastination if you're putting something off, or if you are kind of being irresponsible or think you are, then this would be the one we would want to use because it's more stimulating, okay? We're going to start with cedar wood as our base, and we'll use 6 drops of that because we want to be grounded. And cedar wood, it grounds us, but it also strengthens us. It's very strengthening, and we need energy to do this decision and this blend. So our heart note is going to be rosemary, and rosemary helps with memories. It helps with making decisions. It helps with things in the brain. If you are an epileptic or working with somebody epileptic or having problems with high blood pressure, then you'll have to choose something else. You could choose a chamomile, but that's a little bit quieting. You could choose a mint, but again, it it might be too stimulating. You just have to, try it and see what you think. So we're going to have 15 drops of rosemary. And we use the AARP rosemary. That's how the rosemary we make is from that particular plant. And it puts out a lot of oil, really does. And then we're going to add a petite fluorescence because, and it has a little bit of scent, but not a lot. And it specifically works on making decisions. Now the petite fluorescences I've worked with for 45 years in hospitals and clinics and private practice. And so I have chronicled over the years that yes, this white petunia works really good on making decisions, and it helps some people with learning problems or spelling problems, something they want to work on. It helps them focus, I suppose. So I'm going to put in just 5 drops of that. It's kind of an assisting essence here. And petunia does have scent at night, so that's when you want to gather your plant, make your essences. And we're going to top it off with lemon peel. That's how we get lemon, and we're going to have 9 drops of that, if I can get it out here. And lemon peel helps us to focus, and it helps to clear the mind. Wow, you get a real zinger just smelling it, and that's what we want. We want to open the mind, we want to get centered, we want to be able to make a decision and clear the brain fog. A lot of people that have had chemotherapy have complained about brain fog, and essential oils can be very helpful for that. The next blend we're going to make is if you need to calm down to be able, to get centered and make a good decision. I know sometimes we have to make split decisions, but we'll work on it. The thing about decision making is the more you do it, the better you're going to get. And if you consistently get it wrong, well, then there's, you might need to see a therapist or, start over. I'm not sure about that. But for most people, the more you do it, the better it is. And this would be if you're irritable, if your hormone imbalance causes a lot of indecision. So I know men don't really have hormone imbalance, but their hormones may make them more irritable. And for a woman, it can, it can be anything that causes a hormone imbalance, and it's real easy for most of us to get. So this is going to be a good blend for that. And if you're too impulsive about making decisions, or you impulsively make decisions and you don't want to be that way, or at least this time, then this is going to be your blend. And we're going to start with frankincense. Again, it's inexpensive, it's anti-inflammatory. And so that is going to help calm any irritability, any pain, or any kind of feeling that you're having that is difficult to help you make a decision. So I'm going to put 4 drops of frankincense for part of my low note, and then I'm going to go into myrrh. I know myrrh is not real exciting. Actually, I like it, but these are very mild scents. Myrrh is good for anybody who's having or have had traumatic experiences. Now, that is your call. If you feel like you've had past or present traumatic experiences, then you really need to use myrrh. You just need a drop or 2. And it is also anti-inflammatory. because it will help clear that from the psyche and the nervous system, where it can trigger responses for you, which could make it difficult to make decisions in this case. So then we're going to go into our main essences, and we're going to use clary sage, and it is green clary sage. Be sure you get green clary sage, because the other kind is really kind of difficult. It can overwhelm a blend, although it blends really well with lavender, so we're going to use lavender in the blend. But with the green clary sage, yeah, I like it. It's very fresh, but it's very herbal. So out of 15 drops, I'm going to use 10 drops of clary sage. You can change this around. If you don't have clary sage, you might want to just use lavender. Clary sage is the one that's good for hormone balance. It's really good for hormone balance. And lavender is just relaxing and refreshing. In decision making, it helps us to be thoughtful, okay? To be thoughtful about what we're going to make a decision about. Or just because we know we're going to work and be making important decisions, and you want to be on point. And I put 5 drops of lavender absolute in the blend. That's the dark green one. Absolutes cannot go in diffusers, so just so you know. And we have our oil is jojoba oil. If you want to use regular spike or Provence or whatever kind of lavender you use, you could use it for a high note, for your top note, because it is a top note and it works really well as that. It will still blend very well with your clary sage. So our top note, I thought I'd do something a little bit different, and I'm going to put some ylang in there. And ylang is the only top note we have, so we're going to use 9 drops. Remember that ylang can be a low note, a middle note, heart note, or a top note. So it's very versatile. It's inexpensive. It has a wonderful scent. And it'd be good in your repertoire of essential oils if you're making choices. So, this is going to be nice. This is smooth. It's very inflammatory, I guess you can say. So we're going to label this and date it. This is for decisions, and put the date. Then this one, that's nice. We'll do the same thing. If you notice, I used the same amount of drops in the ½ ounce and the 1 ounce. I like a lot of drops in my blends. The 6 drops of base notes and 15 drops of heart note and 9 drops of whatever you're using for top notes. That gives you a balance, but you can still stay in balance and use 18 drops instead of 15 drops for your heart note. But you want to use at least 6, 15, and 9 when you're doing your drops. If you use a little bit more of one or the other, it's okay, as long as it's not something like vetiver, which could overwhelm your blend. So we're going to have questions, I know, and we're going to try to keep this for 2 to 3 weeks before we use it, but we might need it before then. And just remember that for 3 or 4 weeks, your blend is actually creating a new unique blend, and it's not totally ready until about 3 weeks. So we'll have questions, And I hope you like and share and subscribe and send me those questions, text or email, or put it on YouTube, and I want to know more about what you're willing and wanting to learn with using aromatherapy. See you in a week. Bye-bye.